Caitlin Clark didn't just join the WNBA, she hijacked the entire season. We're talking 41 out of 44 games on national TV. That's more airtime than some NBA teams get. ABC, ESPN, CBS, ION, you name it.
As Caitlin Clark has become a national phenom, and some fans say they went the extra mile just to watch her play here.
They're all betting big on Indiana Fever and the rookie who's already playing like a headliner. This isn't just about one player getting hype. It's the league rearranging its schedule, its priorities, and honestly, its future around one name, Caitlin Clark. Teams are literally moving games to bigger arenas just to hold the crowd she draws.
What are you most excited to see?
Her playing. She's a good three-point shooter.
I love watching her score.
She's breaking viewership records, pushing media rights into nine-figure territory, and yeah, she might already be the most important player in the league, and she hasn't even played her second season yet. So how does one rookie go from NCAA star to the face of a league in less than a year? And what does this mean for the rest of the WNBA, the veterans, the rivalries, the new expansion teams, and the media deals already exploding before our eyes? Is Caitlin Clark really the one shifting the entire landscape? Or is this just the beginning of something even bigger?
When you think about the great point guards and post players that our game, not just our league, but our game has seen, they are going to go as the greatest.
We're diving deep into how 41 national games isn't just a TV stat. It's a warning shot to every team, every exec, and every network that the WNBA is entering a whole new era. But before we unpack the madness, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss a single update as the 2025 season heats up. Let's get into it. Okay, pause. 41 out of 44 games? Networks are breaking records and teams are literally moving venues just to fit in more fans.
The WNBA has never had.
This is not your average rise to stardom sports tale.
Like,
this
obviously
is a revolution.
The Indiana Fever select Caitlin.
You ever seen a league bend its media calendar around a rookie? No? Well, Caitlin Clark just made it happen. That's not just a record. That's WNBA history. To give you some perspective, the Fever only have 44 games. She's basically on every screen, every night. And fans? Oh, they're showing up. Other teams are scrambling to move Fever games into larger arenas. Because wherever Clark plays, tickets explode.
The WNBA has never had more than 40 games in a season. Like, obviously.
Demand is wild. It's not just about basketball anymore. It's a movement. Fever games aren't games. They're events. It's like Taylor Swift's Eras Tour, but for hoops. And the networks, they're cashing in. 6 of them. Count 'em. 6 national broadcasters are airing Indiana Fever games this season. That's ABC, ESPN, CBS, CBS Sports Network, ION, and even NBA TV. The big dogs are all in. But here's the twist, and it's something you probably didn't see coming. 2 of those games, both against the Chicago Sky, are airing in primetime on CBS. That's a first, not just for Caitlin Clark, not just for the Fever, but for the entire league. The WNBA has never had regular season games in primetime on broadcast TV before. Mark your calendars. June 7th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Then again on August 9th, Sky versus Fever, Clark versus Angel Reese, Rookie of the Year versus the Rebounding Queen. It's not just basketball, it's primetime drama. And it's the CBS debut the league has been waiting for. This is the network that brings you the NFL and March Madness. And now it's Clark time.
Really is in part due to Clark's popularity. Now, the team ownership is calling this an unprecedented demand for tickets.
Let's break it down even more. ESPN and ABC, they're pushing hard too. Normally, ABC would broadcast maybe 9 WNBA games in a season. But in 2025, they're airing 13. That's 4 more than ever before. And 5 of those games feature Clark and the Fever. ESPN's family of networks in total will carry 26 WNBA games this year, again, up from past seasons. That's not a tweak. That's a full-on media makeover. It's as if Caitlin Clark didn't just join the WNBA. She reprogrammed it. Then there's ION. Yeah, the network most people associate with crime dramas and reruns. They're in this game too. In fact, they're airing 50 WNBA games. That's more than any other network. And yep, they've locked in Clark versus Paige Buchers, assuming the Wings take her as projected with that number. One pick on June 27. ION isn't messing around either. They're doing Friday night doubleheaders, appointment viewing, making WNBA feel like the NBA's old-school TNT prime. And with Fever appearing 8 times on ION, you can bet they'll be the ratings darlings.
41 of 44 games on national TV. Most national TV games in franchise history. Most national TV games for a single team in WNBA history.
Speaking of ratings, let's talk numbers. And oh boy, do they tell a story. In Caitlin Clark's rookie year, 20 of the 23 WNBA games that broke 1 million viewers featured the Fever. One Sky Fever game peaked at 2.3 million on ESPN. That's playoff-level attention. For regular season women's hoops, 6 different networks set viewership records just by airing Fever games last season. That's not normal, that's Clarkonomics. And if you're wondering if this all seems like too much hype, the numbers don't lie. Clark is bringing in eyeballs, fans, merch sales, and national attention. That's why Disney, NBC, and Amazon all jumped on the WNBA's upcoming media rights deal. Starting in 2026, they're paying $200 million a year for 11 years. That's $1 billion deal. That's generational money. But let's not forget the competition. This league isn't a solo stage. The Las Vegas Aces? They're coming in hot with 33 national appearances. New York Liberty? Right behind them at 32. The Aces even added Jewel Lloyd in a blockbuster trade that sent Kelsey Plum to LA. This squad is built for three-peats. The Liberty, led by Breanna Stewart and Sabrina Ionescu, are defending champs and no pushovers. These aren't just teams, they're dynasties in motion, and they're all chasing the same spotlight that Caitlin Clark is now dominating. And while the WNBA is watching its new queen rise, there's another storm brewing: expansion. Meet the Golden State Valkyries, first expansion team since 2008. They debut May 16th against the Sparks at 10 p.m. on ION. They'll host the Aces on ABC in June, then hit CBS the following month. It's a new era, and the Valkyries are walking right into the chaos, armed and ready. And don't sleep on the Dallas Wings. They were 11th out of 12 teams last year, but if they take Paige Buchers in the draft, which everyone expects, it's going to be Clark versus Buchers, Part 1 this summer. That game's on ION too. Ratings? Prepare for liftoff. Now here's where things get really spicy. The Sky versus Fever rivalry. These two teams clash 5 times this season. Every single one is nationally televised. And let's not pretend it's a coincidence. You've got Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston on one side, the last 2 rookies of the year, and Angel Reese, the rebounding monster, on the other. That's drama. That's fire. That's made for TV. These matchups aren't just basketball. They're episodes of a saga that's still being written. CBS is giving them primetime treatment. ABC's got the opener. ION's in the mix. This is the league's next great rivalry, and Clark is right in the middle. So yeah, Caitlin Clark didn't just join the WNBA in 2025. She hijacked the airwaves.
Caitlin Clark is really just too popular. That's the problem. The excuse is that she's white. The problem is that she's too popular.
From primetime history to record-breaking viewership to sparking expansion buzz and fueling new rivalries, this isn't just a breakout season. It's a paradigm shift. The WNBA used to be waiting for its moment. Thanks to Caitlin Clark, that moment is now. Here's the thing nobody's saying out loud. Caitlin Clark isn't just changing the WNBA's visibility. She's forcing the league to grow faster than it's ever been ready for. And that's a good problem to have. And this isn't just a spike in ratings or a flurry of headlines. It's a structural shift. Networks like CBS and ABC didn't suddenly fall in love with women's basketball. They saw numbers, dollar signs, and cultural momentum. Clark has become the WNBA's shortcut to mainstream relevance, and the league is sprinting to keep up. From primetime slots to packed arenas to rethinking media rights, the WNBA is now operating at a level it always wanted to. It just needed someone to kick the door down. Clark did it with one season. But here's the catch. When you build that much attention around one player, the pressure hits different. The league now has to deliver on the hype. Not just Clark, but the competition, the storytelling, the rivalries, the marketing. It can't just be a Caitlin Clark show. It has to be a WNBA experience. That means giving shine to Angel Reese, Aaliyah Boston, Sabrina Ionescu, Aja Wilson, Paige Beckers, and the Valkyries out in Golden State. The league finally has the eyeballs. Now it has to keep them. And while everyone's talking about viewership and airtime, the real story is happening behind the scenes. More money, bigger deals, and a league realizing it might be sitting on $1 billion product, not 10 years from now, but right now. But hold up, let's flip the script for a second. What if Caitlin Clark wasn't in the league this year? Would ABC still be airing 13 games instead of 9? Would CBS have rolled out primetime slots for regular season matchups? Would teams be scrambling to upgrade arenas? Would Disney, NBC, and Amazon still be throwing around $200 million a year for media rights? Or would we still be stuck with the same slow uphill climb the WNBA's had for years? And here's an even bigger question. If Clark hadn't grabbed the spotlight, would someone else have stepped up? Like, would Paige Beckers be the one getting the primetime debut if she was the rookie instead?
In this case, why hasn't Middle America given Paige Beckers the Caitlin Clark treatment? The basic thesis was that even though Paige is white, she's blacker than Caitlin with more black connections.
It's wild to think that one draft pick might have shifted the entire direction of a league. But here we are. Caitlin Clark didn't just break into the WNBA, she cracked it wide open. And now there's no going back. And that's a wrap. But now I want to hear from y'all. Do you think the WNBA is too focused on Caitlin Clark right now? Or is she exactly what the league needed to blow up on a national level? Are networks like CBS and ABC finally taking women's basketball seriously? Or are they just riding the Clark hype train until it slows down? And here's a deeper one. If you were the WNBA commissioner, how would you balance giving Clark the spotlight without overshadowing stars like Aja Wilson, Sabrina Ionescu, or Angel Reese? Also, what do you think about those primetime games? Game changer or just a one-time experiment? Drop all your hot takes in the comments. I want to hear every angle. And if you're just as fired up about this season as we are, hit that like button, subscribe, and don't forget to turn on that notification bell so you're always plugged in. We've got more deep dives, exclusive stories, and unfiltered takes coming your way all season long. Catch y'all in the next one.